Hello students, we are going to discuss chapter 3 of 11th standard. That is chapter 3 is motion in a straight line. Motion in a straight line means motion in one dimension. Okay, so this comes under the chapter under the heading mechanics. So what is mechanics? Okay, see, mechanics is branch of physics, okay, which deals with study of motion. Okay, it deals with motion, remember. Okay, mechanics is branch of physics which deals with motion. This mechanics is divided into three parts. One is kinematics, next dynamics. Dynamics, another name is, it is also called kinetics. We call it is kinetics. Okay, and third one is statics. So we have mechanics. What is mechanics? Mechanics is branch of physics. Remember, mechanics is branch of physics which deals with motion. Okay, which deals with the study of motion of the bodies. Mechanics is divided into three branches here: kinematics, dynamics, statics. Okay, mechanics is divided into three branches: kinematics, dynamics, statics. Dynamics, another name is kinetics. Remember, this is kinematic and this is kinetics. What is kinematics? This also, okay, deals with motion. Remember, all these deals with motion. Okay, but in this without reference to cause of motion. Remember. Okay, so in this what is the kinematics? Kinematics is branch of mechanics which deals with motion of bodies without reference to the cause of motion. In this we don't discuss the cause of motion here. See, I am repeating, kinematics is branch of mechanics which deals with motion of bodies without reference to the cause of motion. Next, dynamics. Dynamics or kinetics, both are same only, is a branch of mechanics which deals with motion of bodies with reference to the, remember, this is with reference to cause of motion. This is with reference to cause of motion. This one is without reference to cause. Next, statics. What is the meaning of statics? Statics is branch of mechanics which deals with bodies under rest, okay, which are at rest due to the equilibrium forces acting on it here. So what is the statics? Statics is branch of mechanics which deals with the bodies at rest. They are at rest due to the equilibrium forces acting on the body. Okay, so now in this chapter we are discussing kinematics. In this we don't discuss the cause of motion. Okay, we just discuss the motion. In the next further, when you go further, we discuss kinematics. We take more force also into more consideration here. Okay, so for discussing this kinematics, we have some simple terms to understand here. So what are those terms here? Okay, so we have discussed mechanics and their different branches: statics, kinematics, and dynamics here. Next, in this some of the simple terms. Rest. What do you mean by a rest? A body is said to be at rest if it does not change its position with respect to time and surroundings. See, I have this pencil. This pencil is here. Okay, it is at rest with respect to surroundings. What are the surroundings? This table and the walls. So if this is not changing, so if I come tomorrow also, if this is at the same place, so then the body is said to be at rest, okay, with respect to time and the surroundings. Surroundings are same table and same walls, and time is changing, but it is at rest. So a body is said to be at rest if it does not change its position with respect to time and the surroundings. Next, what is the motion? A body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to time and the surroundings. Okay, so it is changing the position. Suppose you take one sphere or ball, you just roll it. Okay, it starts at one point and goes to other point here. So it is changing the position. Okay, when a ball is rolled on the ground, it changes its position from one point to another point. So position is changing and also time also changes So when a body changes its position with respect to time and the surroundings, then the body is said to be in motion. See, rest and motion are relative. Means with respect to something. Okay, relative means with respect to something. They are not absolute. So you are at rest. Okay, with respect to the surroundings. But see, we are all at rest with respect to our wall surroundings here. But we are all in motion with respect to moon. Okay, or with respect to sun. So therefore, this rest is not an absolute term here. Similarly, see, a passenger in a moving train is at rest. A passenger in a moving train is at rest with respect to co-passenger. Okay, but he is in motion with respect to surroundings here. So this rest and motion are relative terms, means we have to compare. Okay, so we cannot say they are absolute. Okay, so explain rest and motion are relative. Then you have to explain using this example. Okay, next, what do you mean by point object? Point object means an object is considered as a point. Okay, if during the motion in a given time it covers distance greater than its own size. See, this is one object. Okay, this length is 1 meter. This body comes here. Okay, so it comes up to this point here. This distance is 3 meter. See, it covers a distance more than its size. Then we say the body or the object is considered to be point object. So an object is considered as a point object during the motion in a given time if it covers distance more than its own size. Okay, next, motion in one dimension. What is the meaning of motion in one dimension? Motion in one dimension means motion in a straight line. Okay, see, for this only one coordinate changes with respect to time. So if a body is moving along x-axis, okay, a body is moving along x-axis, it is 0, and this one is 2, this is 4, 6, and this is 8. See, x body is at 2, after some time it comes to 8. So what is changed here? Its x coordinate is changing. It comes from here to here. Okay, starts here and comes up to the point 8. So its x coordinate is changing. Only one coordinate changes. Okay, so then we call it is motion in one dimension. Okay, next come to position, path length and displacement. What is the meaning of position? Generally in physics we require to specify the position of an object here. Whenever any object is there, the object position we have to specify. Okay, so to specify the position, we generally take origin of coordinate axis, means like this here. This is x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Okay, this origin. So we tell the position of a particle P. Okay, so with respect to this coordinate origin, so its position is x, y, z here. Okay, means its a position with respect to x-axis, it is x, y, z here in the with respect to this origin here. So origin is taken as a reference point for specifying the position of a particle. Okay, next one. See, to this coordinates, what we do, we generally add time also. Okay, because the position of a body changes during its motion. So to know the time interval, what we do, we add the time also. So a clock is added. So the clock is added to this system, then we call it is a frame of reference. Okay, so it is a frame of reference. So what is a frame of reference? That you will come to know in the next chapter. That time we will discuss here. Next we have path length. Okay, path length. Path length is nothing but distance only. Okay, distance only we call path length or distance. What is the meaning of distance? Distance means the actual path covered by the body. Distance means the actual path covered. See here, it has covered the path like this here, P, Q, okay, like this. So it started at A, it went to point P and came to Q, then reaching the point B. So the actual path length covered is called distance. Okay, means total length it has traveled during its motion. Total length it has covered is called path length. or distance. Both are same. Path length and distance are same. Okay, it is a scalar quantity. What is a scalar quantity? You will come to know. You might have studied previously in the lower class also. It is called scalar quantity, which has only magnitude. Scalar quantities are those which only having magnitude. Its unit is meter in SI system, centimeter in CGI system. Generally we use any one of these units we are using here. Okay, next we have some more other terms here. Okay, they are displacement. So what is displacement? See, the change in position of a particle is known as displacement. Okay, if a particle changes its position, then we call it is a displacement. Displaced means what? Change in position. Okay, you placed one object here and it comes to some other point, means it is displaced. So what is the displacement? Displacement means the change in position of a particle. Okay, see, one particle is here and it reached the point B, okay, after a time t. So what is the displacement? Displacement is AB. So this displacement is in which direction? It is A to B. So displacement is a vector quantity because it is displaced from A to B. Direction also we are specifying. Okay, it is displaced from A to B. So it is a vector quantity and its direction also we have to specify, and its unit is meter. Okay, so because it has a magnitude and direction, that is why it is a vector quantity. It is also measured in meter. Okay, now see here one example is there. Calculate the distance traveled by a particle, and see, one particle is there. It is moving in a circular path. Okay, having a radius r. This circular path radius is r here. It is moving from A to B. When it is moving from A to B, so what is its distance and displacement? See, A to B, it is traveling along the circular path. So distance is this much. This much arc. Correct now? So this distance is how much it is? It is 1/4 of 2 pi r. This distance is 1/4 of 2 pi r. Okay, because it is traveling only this much distance. Okay, distance means what? Path length. So path length is this much. This path length is 1/4 of the circumference. Okay, this much is only 1/4 of total circumference. That is why total circumference is 2 pi r. So we have taken here. Then this is we are calling distance. Then what is displacement? Displacement is, we have discussed, it is change in position. So what is the change in position? See, it changed from A to B. So this length AB. So this is here AB. This AB from the figure, it is a right angle triangle. It is a hypotenuse. So this is equal to under root r square plus r square. So root 2r. So this is the displacement when body changes its position A to B. Okay. So therefore displacement and distance both are different here. Distance is the actual path covered. Okay. And displacement is the change in position. So change in position is here A to B. So final position minus initial position, that is AB. Okay. So this way we can calculate for different cases here. Next, what is average speed? See, speed is a vector quantity. Okay. So this average speed is the ratio of total distance to the total time. See, average speed, see here it is, we are talking about speed. Speed is equal to distance upon time. It is a total distance, whatever distance it is covered, total distance to the total time. So if total distance is okay, delta x and total time is delta t, then we write here. So the average speed is given by, so average speed is indicated between the less than and greater than symbol. Okay, this less than and greater than symbol v is written, and this indicates it is a average speed. Okay, so average speed is total distance upon total time. Remember this formula. Then what is the average velocity? Okay, suppose a particle is at point x1 at time t1 and reaches x2 at time t2. So what is average velocity? Average velocity is displacement, total displacement upon total time. So what is the total displacement? Total displacement means it is change in position upon total time taken or time taken. Okay, see, change in position, see, final position minus initial position. For this, what is the time? T2 minus T1. This is delta x upon delta t. This is average velocity, so we write like this. Okay, so average velocity is also indicated by v, and this average is indicated by less than and greater than symbol, so we have written like this, delta x. See, both are same, formula are same for average speed and average velocity. So therefore average velocity is the ratio of total displacement to total time. Remember the formula, average velocity. For velocity, displacement will come, and for speed, distance will come. Remember, speed is a scalar quantity, velocity is a vector quantity. I am repeating, average speed is the ratio of total distance to the total time. Average velocity is ratio of total displacement to the total time. Both are measured in meter per second. Okay, speed is a scalar quantity and velocity is a vector quantity. Okay, now we have one example. Okay, so to calculate the average speed here, see, I am having one object. This object, okay, one object is traveling from O to P. See in the figure, O to P. So O to P, it travels in 10 seconds. Okay, and it travels P to Q. Then of course it travels P to Q in 6 seconds. O to P in 10 seconds. Calculate average speed and average velocity. That is a question. See, body is traveling O to P and then P to Q. What is the average speed? Average speed means total distance upon total time. What is the total distance? O to P. See, at O position is 0, at P position is, so it is a 280. Okay, so 280, so O to P it is a 280. So I have written here OP plus PQ. See, total path length covered. Distance means what? Total distance means O to P distance plus P to Q distance. That is why OP plus PQ upon total time. Time taken for O to P and time taken for P to Q. So that is why T time for OP, time for PQ. What is the distance OP? It is 280. See in the figure. Distance PQ. See, P to Q distance is 280 minus 180. This distance is 280 minus 160. It is 120. So total distance is 280 plus 120. What is the time taken? For this OP 10 seconds, for PQ 6 seconds. 10 plus 6, 16. So 400 upon 16, 25 meter per second. This is average speed. Now we calculate average velocity. What is average velocity? Displacement upon time, total displacement. So for this we take a change in position. So what is the change in position? See, it has come from O to P. So O to P, its position is 280 minus 0 means 280. This is 280. Okay, then it has come P to Q. So what is its position here? 160. Means it has traveled from P to Q. So the change in position is, okay, 280 minus 160. So therefore here we have taken 280 minus this 160. Okay, so divided by total time taken. Okay, so the difference is, whatever difference comes, that you write here. Okay, so it is 120 upon 16. So therefore average velocity is equal to total change in position. What is the change in position? Okay, average velocity is, okay, so here its position for O to P, its position is 280, and for P to Q its position. Okay, so total displacement for OP, total displacement is 280, and for P to Q its total displacement is, for P to Q it is 120. So therefore we have taken here, it is 280 minus it is 120. Okay, difference. So what is the difference of these two? It is 160, and total time is 160 by 16. So we are getting 10 seconds. So this way we can calculate the average velocity. Okay, see, a car travels different distances with different speeds. Okay, suppose one example, a car travels different distances with different speeds, then average speed is equal to, what's the formula for average speed? Total distance upon total time. Okay, see, average formula is, it is a total distance upon total time. Okay, so using this formula, total distance is, it has traveled d1, d2, d3, etc., different distances. First distance time, d1 by v1, d2 by v2. Time, distance upon speed is called time. That's why d1 by v1, d2 by v2, etc. Okay, so this formula, using this formula, we can calculate average speed for different distances, different speeds. Okay, so that's all for today. Next class we discuss with more topics. Okay, and prepare for the unit test chapter 1 and 2.